Here we are once again, Blade fans. OG Blade Reviews with you once again. Another DC Blades to be released. I was going to say soon to be released by mid-year 2025. And this is the second one I've done within roughly a few days because Justin out at Tier 1 Gear Reviews sent me this one and the Vendetta for review. And I'll bring the Vendetta out to compare with you because they're like a set because he chose the same handle materials. Here we go. These are made by Miguron for DC Blades. DC Blades is, I believe, Chris Hansen, Old Squirrel Knives, and Justin Carvin of Tier 1 Gear Reviews. Hope I got all those names correct. But look at this beauty. Another titanium masterpiece with this silver foil sort of carbon fiber, I believe we would call that. Really nice and beautiful milling. Different milling than we have on the Vendetta. I'll show you that in a moment. This is like these little, like little goosebumps. I don't know what to call them. There is DC Blades logo, same as on the box. Okay, and let's get that box out of the way. You can see that we have a wave opening feature on the blade built into it, not added on, but physically part of the blade. And the blade material is M390. And I bet you're just dying for me to open it, right? So here we go. Not enough energy there. I find that knives that have internal stop pins, and I want to mention that now because I'll forget to tell you, do have a little more drag going out. I've noticed that on just about every knife I've had with those internal stop pins. Not that this won't free up, loosen up a little bit over time. It is running on bearings. It is a full titanium frame lock with a hardened steel insert. We got T8 pivots, T8 hardened steel insert screw, T8 body screws. Very, very nice. And I'm really hoping that is a T8 there. Looks like a T9, a T7. So I don't know. Should I check that? I think I've got my bit set right here. I don't even need to stop the video, but let's see if I can pull. That's a T6. All right, let's pull out a T6. See what we got. I'm guessing. No, it's definitely not a T6. And I'm going to jump to the T8. I could have been wrong. And I was wrong. It's a T8. Apologies. T8's here too. These just look a little bigger because they've got, that's the full screw, while that is a, within the pivot and the pivots around and whatnot. Basically, the hole looks smaller. All right, so glad we got past that. Put my bits back in place. Yes, I took Metal Complex's advice and I got one of these off of Amazon. Wee-ha! Good set. Supposed to be one of the best as far as accuracy and durability go. All right, we got past all of that. Let's see if we can understand the blade geometry a bit. Here's the handle up here, and here's the axis of the blade down here, which is very interesting because although we have a slight upswept Persian blade, it is actually in the hand. I'm going to hold it. Well, I can hold it that way. It is in the hand, comes out being a little higher than the center, the way it's held. And that's kind of interesting to explain. But there you can see that if this is the handle axis that I'm holding, the tip is actually in line with the center of the handle. That is a pretty darn sophisticated and unique design. Now, this is what in Filipino martial arts we call a saksak knife, meaning that it is mostly designed to be used point up, edge out, right? That doesn't mean that it isn't really, really nice in Pikal, but you just don't have an edge here. Now, could this wedge be sharpened? I'm not sure. Let's see. No, you would cut yourself. I wouldn't sharpen that swedge, but that's okay. And there, I gave it a little better flip this time. So yeah, it is primarily a back flipper and a pocket opener. We've got a beautiful compound grind here, really also sophisticated, with a hollow, let me get it out in the frame there, hollow grind in there and a flat grind towards the tip. I would say we've got about a 2/3 and 1/3 roughly breakup of that blade. Get some of the oil off of there. This came to me with actually a little bit of oil around here, so probably at the factory. I don't think they did anything, adjusting anything out of DC Blades when they arrived. I know that they worked very hard to get these in the country, not so much a customs problem as just a timing and distribution and so forth. And there were some mailing issues and Postal Service is involved. And I think, Justin's still working on some of those issues. And that is really terrible that he's gone through any difficulty with the amount of time they've taken to put these designs together, get them mocked up, get the prototypes out there, and get these actually in hand. So again, this is not a prototype to the best of my knowledge, and this was provided for review by DC Blades, so I thank them very much. Also sent me a Vendetta in the same package. I am a very fortunate collector and user in that regard. So we've got a pretty sharp edge there. We're going to test it out in a little bit. Why not just test it out now? Don't talk about it. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah. I mean, no, it wasn't designed to be a paper cutter, but it cuts paper pretty well. And I bet you it pierces paper really well too. Oh yeah, man. It is a piercer. You picture that in Pikal coming in like that. Crazy stuff, man. We're going to measure it up. So here we go. Tip to stern, bow to stern if you're a sailor, 7 1/4 inches, with a blade of 3 1/4 inches right to the handle, with a cutting edge of about 3.2, maybe, slightly less. Getting out the calipers, I'm in inches, so let's do the handle. I think it's going to be okay if we go right there. Ooh, under a 1/2 inch. Is it really? Nope, 0.51. It's a tapered, I should say tapered, or need to back out a little, I think. Contoured, that's what I mean to say, contoured handle. Since we're looking at the spine and the backspacer, look at this. How tricked out is that? We've got this kind of a Dirk Pinkerton sort of jimping going on the backspacer all the way to the pommel. And that same jimping is on the thumb platform there. Thumb ramp, if you want to call it that. And did we get the blade? No, we didn't get the blade yet. 0.12 inches on the blade stock, which is 3.2 millimeters. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I got the thickest part of the stock. Finally, the weight. And let's go around the merry-go-round here. Oh, went too far. Okay, grams. 105, we'll call that, 105 grams. And 3.7 ounces, rounding that. Very nice. So we have a knife that's not too heavy at all. Relatively small in the hand. Look at that. Disappears. A clip that is definitely switchable. No blank there because the clip is riding on the surface. We have flat-headed screws. It's a milled titanium clip in black on this particular model. And I think there's at least one other model that is coming through with twill carbon fiber, if I'm not mistaken. I always hit myself in the finger on that. I can't get the finger out of the way fast enough. Let's see. Shall I try something else? I'll just use the finger. There we go. When you're pulling it out of your pocket, obviously it's cleared the pocket by the time the blade folds open, so you wouldn't have that particular issue. You can, however, if you don't want to go back here, you know, you can have it mostly in the hand one way or the other and flip it out here, okay? Or one-handed, simply use the flipper tab. And nice jimping down in here, which I didn't point out earlier, pretty aggressive. So if you look at it this way, you really have a guard on this knife. See how it opens up kind of like a tulip here. This is weird jimping, but it is very effective. You put your thumb there and it grabs you because your flesh is pushing down into these kind of sharp little guys. I mean, you don't want to push your thumb along there real hard, but in this position, we're really good to go. But as I said, got some nice jimping down in there. I'm sitting on a stool and I got to adjust it. It's one of these piano stools. And it's a cheapo from Amazon. So little by little I go, shh, 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 shh. I'm sitting on the floor practically by the time I'm done with the video. Yeah, there's your guard. Really nice. Really, really nice. So as far as a jabby, stabby kind of thing, works pretty good. In a Filipino martial arts style, we use a lot of, we call it a 9 and an 8, right? We're circling anyway, so this point is in a perfect trajectory to do those circular jabs and stabs, right? And also, you know, going in this way is going to be pretty good. We got a nice curve on there with a big, long trailing point and a nice belly to cut. Let's take a look at this next to the Vendetta. Hope you don't have a vendetta with anybody. There is a purely Pikal knife. But look at these. They're sort of like yin and yang here. I mean, curving that way, curving that way. Curving in with an inner edge, curving out with an outer edge. So you got a perfect combo here. Pick your hand. You got down and back and in, and you've got forward and forward. Really, really nice. But you can see handle material, nice match. Got the gray anode titanium. Let's compare it against Griptilian, maybe. As I say, beautiful pair, and the Vendetta is available. You can get these right now for $250, and that's a really great price for a knife that might otherwise run you $300, $350 or so. From Miguron. The Sting, I did say it's M390, right? Well, you'll see that up on the screen. Next to the Griptilian's a good bit longer. Let's see how much longer. About 1.5 inches-ish, 1.25 inches. with the blade, if we even these up, not that much longer, maybe ½ inch longer. So we've got a lot of blade, you might say, for the handle on the sting. And let's see, just for the heck of it, I got, what do I have on me? Oh, I've got the Freak on me, Benchmade Freak today. That's another one that's fairly large. It's bigger even than the Griptilian. So we're getting out a little bit longer, and blade-wise, 3/4 of an inch longer. Not bad. Very comfy knife to carry. Rubbery here, G10 here, and with my my work sharp, I put a very decent, fairly bitey edge on that. Stuffing it back in the pocket. Don't want to stand up and walk away without my knife. Talking about earlier, the lockup system, there's your pins, okay? And those pins run down through a track. And when this locks, there is not a lock pin here, but rather 2 pins that are inside of the titanium frame. And then, of course, your third point, second point, if you want to look at it that way, for the lockup is your lock bar on the frame. Hardened steel insert against an M390 blade. Don't know the HRC, but I'm sure that will be eventually published. Again, this is the beginning of March 2025. And that's not a question. Beginning of March 2025, and I am told this should be out by mid-year, so we'll say by the end of the second quarter of this year. End of March will be the end of the first quarter. So somewhere over the next 3 to 4 months, we'll see this available on the dcblades.net website. Hope you really enjoyed this. I did. Love this knife. Thanks again, Tier 1 and DC Blades, Justin and Chris. Great job. Hope everybody goes out and buys them up. And limited run on these guys. I think there's 100 of these, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe there'll be 100 of these. So glad I can present it to you early. Again, don't try ordering it just yet, but stay in touch with DC Blades, and you will know. And I'm sure on their Instagram page, which I will give you as well, you'll see when these become available. Click this logo right now, and you will be redirected to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Hope you already have. Hope there's a lot of return viewers, but anybody new out there, click that and sign up to subscribe. You'll be notified when I drop new vids, etc., etc. Be well, take care, stay safe. See you soon.